Right then guys, how's it going and welcome back to a new video. The Premier League season starts up again in just over a week, which means we have just over a week to get our fantasy football teams ready for the first game on the Friday night, Brentford versus Arsenal. But we did the Euros fantasy football over the summer, which was a lot of fun, obviously until England lost right at the end. But it was a lot of fun, but I cannot wait to get into the Premier League again. Now, because of the Euros in the summer, I feel like I've neglected the start of this Premier League season a little bit. I'm not quite as prepared as I normally am, which is why this video is my first draft. I've seen players that I like, I've seen players that I want, but I have not rounded off my official starting squad for the season. So I will be back next week to show you guys officially what my team will be going into that first game. So we'll take a look, a few pointers, some of the fixtures to look at. But one thing I'll let you guys know as well is that my league is up and running again. There is a lot of you guys in it already. If you've joined my league in previous seasons and you've already made a team, you will be automatically jumped into the league, as you can see here. If you haven't joined before, that's absolutely fine. I'll put the link and the code down in the description, and I'll also put the league code somewhere on screen as well. But if I can't find where it says how many people are in the league. But if I'm not wrong, when I seen last year, I'm pretty sure there was a few thousand. So yeah, if you've not jumped in already, please do. I do make or plan to make weekly fantasy football videos for the upcoming Premier League season, and it's always good fun to see how you're doing. So if you've already joined, let me know down below. If you're joining today, let me know down below. And yeah, let's take a quick look at, well, I'll show you what my team looks like right now. And that is because I automated it, auto-selected it, just to get the league up and running. But I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to look at a few fixtures and see how we get on. So I think one of my top tips, to be honest, if I was going to give anyone a tip, not that I'm the pro or anything, is to remember that the first game is on Friday at 8 o'clock. If you're like me and you're rubbish at making changes at the last minute, I've started setting an alarm on my phone now, because I always do this. Middle of the week, I think, I'll make those changes, but I'll wait till just before the deadline in case there's a last minute injury, and then I forget to make the changes. The first game's on Friday night, so don't wake up on Saturday morning to make your changes, because you're already too late. It's Friday at 6:30. You have to have your changes done by. I'll tell you one thing which is a little bit unrelated. I cannot wait for the 3 o'clock Saturday games as well. It's fantasy football is much better when there's like 5 or 6 games going on at one time, and you can have like Sky Sports Centre or whatever it's called on, watching the games popping up. Gillette Soccer Saturday, that's what it's called. But anyway, looking at some of the fixtures. So I love that you can do this on here. If you don't know how, it's you click fixtures, it will automatically just show them in this format. If you click FDR, it actually gives you a little piece of help on who has the best fixtures going forward. And I'm going to be honest, before you've even seen my team, my strategy is pretty similar to the way it always is. It was pretty much the way I did it in the Euros, and from what I've seen, I think it's quite a good option this year. And it's basically you go cheap defenders and then pack in the midfielders, and there's actually not as many striker options as you would like this season. So I've seen a lot of people actually going cheap strikers as well, so it's kind of loading up on the midfield. Obviously you have your expensive defender options like Alexander-Arnold, etc. But there are some really good cheap defensive options as well, and that's kind of the strategy I always use anyway. So to see that there's actually some decent options for it is quite nice. But anyway, straight off the bat, you're looking at teams like Aston Villa have got 3 decent fixtures going in, but then obviously it turns a bit tougher after that. So you're thinking, who is a good option for those 3 that I can then move out? Maybe Watkins, possibly not Jack Grealish after what's being said about the Man City stuff. I mean, you look at Brentford. I mean, Arsenal is grey. I think that will be tough. Obviously, they don't think too much of Arsenal at the minute if they're putting that down as a grey one. But you know, some decent opening fixtures, but it is a promoted team. You know, Ivan Toney, he's a cheap striker option. Can he use that confidence of getting into the Premier League to hit the ground running and maybe pull off some goals in there? I mean, Brighton is a team that I've looked at who I think have got some decent opening fixtures. I mean, it's got Everton down in red here, which I do think is going to be tough. Looking at it from the other direction, Norwich have got a really tough opening set of fixtures. They always play Liverpool first. And Liverpool generally score a few, so maybe Salah captain option in there is not a bad shout at all. So yeah, that's kind of fixture-wise what you guys want to be looking at, or that's definitely what I've been looking at. Let's have a go at this team, and I'll be back. Right then, so this is what I'm looking at right now, as my hair goes crazy. I've actually just made my team twice, so I'll show you my alternative team in a minute. I went really overboard on the forward players, and it looked far too lopsided, so believe it or not, this is me revisiting it slightly. I've got Sanchez in goal for Brighton. As I've already mentioned, they have a good start to the season in my opinion, and he's very cheap, just 4.5 million goalkeeper again. Foster on the bench, goalkeeper 4 million? 4 million for Watford. So as a backup goalie, I think that's a good shout. In defence, I've gone White. He has just gone from Brighton to Arsenal, and again with a really good price tag of just 4.5 million. They've paid a lot of money for him. Is he going to fix the defence? I don't know, but I'm going to imagine he's going to start. And to be honest, Arsenal's fixtures aren't great, but I mean, Brighton versus Arsenal first game of the season, I've not done that too well, but you know what it is. Leeds defender, Ayling I've put in again, another 4.5 million defender. I had him in last season, picked up a lot of defensive points but no attacking points because Dallas, their other the fullback, is actually down as a midfielder now, and he's now 5.5 million. What I should do is probably put this in transfer mode so you can look at that a little bit better. Let's look at, so yeah, let's put it on defenders to just show the alternative. Let's put it on picked by so we can compare. So yeah, Ayling I went for. I've put Shaw in there. He's actually the most selected defender, as it seems, for 5.5 million. Almost half the number of teams have actually got him in. However, has he started because obviously because England were away for quite a long time, I'm not sure if he's actually started training yet. Again, I would say some very decent fixtures, so very happy to have him in. Hopefully he's going to continue what he did at the Euros. However, is he going to play the first game? And if he's not, then I would probably move him out. I've got Manquillo. If you're not a Newcastle fan and you're watching this, you should probably know I don't think he's going to play. He's only 4 million and he's picked by a lot of people. However, he is our only right back at the club, so it would make sense to put him in there at a 4 million option. I think it's more likely that Jacob Murphy will play a wing back than Manquillo play right back. But for a 4 million on the bench, if Murphy doesn't start the season great, Manquillo is the only option after that, except for Kraft. But I would go Manquillo. So that's defenders. Midfielders, you can see I have put in 3 premium midfielders. I've gone Fernandes, Salah and De Bruyne. Fernandes, you know what? I didn't start with him last season and I regretted it. And then he's scoring the penalties. You know what it is? And they're actually saying they're going to try and not award as many penalties in the upcoming season. So if that's true, but with VAR, I think they will still give them. He just brings the points in. He's just a points machine, whether it's penalties, assists or goals or whatever. The points just seem to flow from him. So I think I've got to have him. Salah, I don't think... Well, I was about to say I don't think he quite got as many points as I hoped he would last season, but he's still the most picked midfielder. And again, captaincy options. Having these 3 in there, every week you know you're going to have an easy captain choice. De Bruyne, obviously he's been recovering from his injury. I expect him to be back. However, Man City have got like 900 midfielders, and they're still wanting to bring Jack Grealish in. So you'd still imagine that De Bruyne would start every game. However, when Man City have got that many players, are they going to rush him back into the first game when they've already got Mahrez and whoever else sat waiting? You know, Foden didn't really have the game time at the Euros. He's sat at 8 million, which again I think is a very good shout. The problem is just, will he play enough to get more points than someone else who would play every game? Probably, if it's a Man City player. But that's my only worry with him. I'm going to look out for that next week to see whether I want to leave De Bruyne in. And then I'm going to be honest, these next two were pretty much how much I had left in my budget. So Basuma, I think he's well known at this point, is a starting midfielder for Brighton, who obviously doesn't get a lot of points, but he gets played points. So if he comes off the bench, you're guaranteed you 2, maybe 3, or even 5 if he manages an assist. And then Smith Rowe, I had 5.5 million left. And if I'm going to be honest, the 5.5 million options weren't really there. Look, there's Dallas. There's the Leeds defender who's now been put in as a midfielder and his price put up by $1 million. So he's not quite the budget defender he was last season. So let's just move on to strikers. I had in last season and he just let me down over and over again, so I've not put him in this time. I have put Ivan Toney in, 6.5 million. He's very highly picked, and if he can have a season like Pukki had a few years ago when Norwich got promoted and he scored in the first 6 or 7 games, then that's amazing. And I'm going to be honest, I have put him in my team, but I think I need to not be scared to take him out if it doesn't go well. But then again, you know, you look at these opening fixtures, maybe give him the first 5 games and then don't be scared to take him out after that, because it will be a tough season for Brentford, I think, and I wish them the best of luck. And if Ivan Toney can get me some goals and create some value for himself, that would be amazing. But I think he will possibly have a tough time. I think Calvert-Lewin is I would say budget. It's not really. It's 8 million in comparison to a lot of these strikers. I would say he's a really good value, to be honest. I would definitely consider him if I could find a little bit of extra money. Maybe upgrade Toney and downgrade Smith Rowe for a 4 million midfielder if that exists. I've gone with Callum Wilson again. I just think there isn't that much here. You know, you look at it, and as I say, Watkins has let me down, so I've not put him in. Callum Wilson, Kane. I think if Kane goes to City, I think I'll put him in, to be honest, because I think he's going to play every game. He's probably going to walk in there and say, I want the penalties as well. So I think you'd probably have them. And I think he'll just stand on the penalty spot and just hammer the ball in for a season, unlike when he plays at Spurs and he's playing deep and doing a lot of the work that he really shouldn't have to. I think at Man City he'll just stand on the penalty spot and just kick the ball in all game, you know. And if he does go there, I think I will be extremely tempted to put him in. Bamford, again, he's, you know, 8 million for Bamford may well be still a very good price, and 18%, so 1 in 5 people have got Bamford in their team. It just doesn't look as nice as it did last season when he was like, what was it, 6.5 or 7? You know, Cavani's very highly picked. I've gone for Antonio for West Ham. Antonio, well, he's a fantastic player. It's just that it's just whether he's going to be injured or not. But I look at that opening fixture list, and obviously Leicester and Manchester United are tough ones. But other than that, I think he's got a really good shot at getting some points. You know, Iheanacho, Vardy, still 10.5. And I mean, he's that price for a reason. He puts the ball in the net, he takes the penalties. But it's just every season you just ask the question, is he going to be able to play as much as you hope he will? And who knows, this might be the season when he has to sit out a little bit more. I mean, Pukki at 6 million. If anyone's willing to take the risk that he's going to have the season he had a few years ago, then absolutely go for it. But as I say, they have a shocking start to the season. So you're a braver man than me if you do go for him. And then did I talk about Wilson? I've put him in. Again, I like to have at least one Newcastle player in, and I already have Manquillo, so I think I'm pushing it a little bit by going for Wilson, especially considering Newcastle are seemingly not wanting to buy or do anything this transfer window. But what you will get with Wilson, if he's fit, is a guaranteed start and penalties. And I didn't mention it already, I think Tony takes the penalties for Brentford as well. So there is some method in my madness with what I've done here. That's how it's looking. I mean, it's not perfect, but I've definitely got... I mean, as I say, that the players that I like, Fernandes, Salah are in there. I like Luke Shaw. I think White for 4.5 million is a great price, providing Arsenal can sort themselves out. I think my two goalkeepers for the cost and the fixtures are really good as well. And then it's just trying to fill in the blanks a little bit. I do think Tony could be a really good one for the start of the season. I like Antonio. Again, fixtures are good. Wilson I'm not as sure on, but I think that's just because I'm a Newcastle fan and I'm scared of the new season. Target did really well for me last year as well, and I think Aston Villa are a very solid side. 5 million instead of 4.5 is a little bit annoying, but I think it's okay. And Leeds, again, 4.5 million for what has been a very solid Premier League team at the moment. They do like to attack, but they also like to let in goals, so it's a bit of a 50-50. And then, as I say, Shaw, providing he's going to play, I think is a really good option too. Before we go, I'll show you what my other team looked like, which I was making, which I haven't saved. And this was me trying to cram as many players as possible in. I mean, you can see the backbone of the team is pretty similar. The difference was I actually took Wilson out and then got rid of Smith Rowe to put in Son. And the difference is that Spurs don't have an easy starting game against Man City. So maybe you're better off looking to try and do that change a week in. It's quite fun making different teams, I've got to say. It's tough to get all the players that you want in at the price you want them. So yeah, let me know down below what you were doing with your team. As I say, this is my first draft. Don't hound me for it just yet. I will be back in a week when I've added a lot more notes and preparation to what I'm going to do with my team. And again, in a week's time, there could be some big changes. Who knows? Maybe Kane has moved on. Maybe Newcastle have signed a player. Probably not, but you never know. And as I say, yeah, things changing very, very quickly. So let me know down below what you're doing with your team. Let me know what I am doing right and wrong with my team. Probably mostly wrong. And join the league if you haven't jumped in already. Alright guys, it's good to be back. Excited for the new season. Excited for the 3 o'clocks again. I can't wait to look at my phone and just see how each of those games are going. But yeah, thanks for watching as always. Drop a like, subscribe for the video next week, and I'll catch you later.